Hello and welcome. How are you today? My name is Brandy Murphy. I'm the Director of Training and Field Development for nutraMetrix, and we're here today to do one of our product education series seminars on the topic of heart health. And so if you're joining me today, I see people are joining in. Hello and welcome. Please comment in the chat box or in the message below this video and let me know where you're joining from. It's great to see everyone this morning. Thank you for taking your time to be with me. So let's go ahead and talk about the topic of the day, heart health. And I'm going to pull up my slides. We're going to go ahead and get started. You'll notice just before I get started, this presentation was really created for nutraMetrix consultants to learn how to work with their non-nutraMetrix customers. So you'll notice the branding in it is for our consumer line of products. And we're going to go ahead and put it in slide sorter mode. But let's talk about why it's so important to take a comprehensive approach to cardiovascular health. And before we even get into that, why is it important to consider cardiovascular health? Well, first of all, let's talk about the fact that our heart, our cardiovascular system, is one of our most important systems. We can't function without it optimally functioning. Like if we lose our heart health, we lose our health. And everyone we know, everyone we love should be concerned about protecting their cardiovascular health. And so it's part of an approach to a whole healthy lifestyle management system. We want to make sure that we are focusing on cardiovascular health as a component of that. Before we get into the presentation, I'll share with you just a little bit of a story about one of our nutraMetrix health professional trainings. We had several faculty members at the front of the room, and they got into a little conversation about which system in the body is the most important system to focus on with a healthy lifestyle program. And there were two cardiologists that were speaking that weekend. And of course, they chimed in right away and said, well, of course, the circulatory and heart system, the cardiovascular system, is the most important system in the body. And then there was a chiropractic neurologist in the audience, and he said, no, the nervous system is the most important system. And there was someone who really specializes in digestive health, and they said, no, the digestive system is the most important system. And no matter where you stand on that fence, they all really do interconnect, right? Because what we eat impacts our cardiovascular system. How we support our nervous system impacts our cardiovascular system. And everything that we do from a lifestyle standpoint impacts our cardiovascular system. So we do want to make sure that we are including heart healthy activities into our healthy lifestyle. So before we get started, again, a reminder, the statements in this presentation have not been evaluated by the FDA. The ingredients discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. What we want to focus on is supporting the body with optimum nutrition and with healthy lifestyle information. So let's talk about people who are at risk for some cardiovascular challenges. And you'll notice the list of modifiable risk factors is pretty long. Who do you know who smokes or who is around secondhand smoke quite a bit? Who do you know that is overweight or obese? Who do you know that doesn't get as much exercise as maybe they should, or perhaps doesn't eat as healthfully as they should? Because individuals with low physical inactivity and a poor diet are definitely at risk for increased cardiovascular challenges. People that have high cholesterol, high homocysteine levels, high C-reactive protein levels, all of those people should be focusing on adding in lifestyle components that can reduce some of those risk factors. That can be done with lifestyle. What do I mean by lifestyle? Well, we want to talk about how well are they sleeping? Are they getting enough sleep? Sleep is a big component of overall health. How are they dealing with their mental health and stress? Stress is a big component of some cardiovascular challenges, right? We talk about when we feel sad, that we have a heavy feeling in our heart. We talk about how emotions can impact our heart rate. When we get angry, when we get agitated, our heart rate goes up. We know that there is a strong correlation between our emotional health and how we deal with that from a cardiovascular standpoint. So not only do we need to focus on, are people getting enough sleep? Are people dealing with their mental and emotional health properly? Are people eating a healthy diet? And are people moving their bodies enough? These are all key components that should be a part of a healthy lifestyle program. See, all of us have someone most likely in our family that has struggled with cardiovascular challenges. And sometimes people will say, well, it runs in my family. It's completely genetic. Well, some other things that run in our family are lifestyle habits. Some other things that run in our family are exercise habits, recipes, the way that we eat gets passed down from one generation to the next. So it may not necessarily be that you have a genetic predisposition, but it could be kind of in that nature versus nurture dialogue. It could be some of the nurturing that you had taught you and passed on to you some unhealthy habits and unhealthy lifestyle habits. So some things that are non-modifiable, we can't change our age, we can't change our sex, we can't change from a cardiovascular standpoint, we can't change our ethnicity, we can't change our genetic history, but we can change our lifestyle and we can change what nutrients we are exposing our body to, which could impact our genetic predisposition. So for example, those of you that are familiar with our nutraMetrix system within the Market America family, in nutraMetrix, we offer something called the gene SNP DNA analysis. And one of the areas of health that is impacted by the gene SNP is we do look at genetics or gene SNPs that impact cardiovascular health. And some of those SNPs can be either turned up or turned down. The genetic expression can be turned up or turned down with certain lifestyle advice. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. What can we look at from a lifestyle standpoint that can change our modifiable risk factors? We can't change some of these non-modifiable factors, but we can change how we approach a healthy lifestyle. Before we get into some of that, let's go through what some of these risk factors mean. I know many of you have had blood work done where you've probably seen cholesterol results or triglyceride results or homocysteine on your blood work, but you may not know what those things mean. So we're going to go through and we're going to talk about what are those in this presentation. Now, again, we were talking about family history. Family history goes beyond just the genetic information. What types of recipes were passed through your family? What type of exercise habits were passed through your family? What type of mental and emotional stress management techniques were passed through your family, right? So let's talk about that. Is smoking a habit that was in your family? That's something we can change. Do you exercise regularly or not? Are you eating a diet that is rich in colorful fruits and vegetables? Do you get enough fiber in your diet? Do you eat a lot of salty or processed foods, or do you work to reduce your intake of salt and of sugar? Do you get enough healthy fats, or is most of what you eat fried food or unhealthy fats? Are you focusing on getting enough omega-3s, or is most of your diet fat content comprised of omega-6 and omega-9s? We also want to make sure that we're supporting the body nutritionally with some supplements that can help fill in the gaps in our diet, because no matter how well we try to eat, oftentimes it is hard to get everything that we need from diet alone. Our farming methods have changed. Where we get our food from has changed. It used to be that we would eat locally all the time, but now you go to the grocery store and your bananas could have come from halfway around the world. Your oranges could have come from somewhere else. And so many times, because of the way that our food logistics system has changed, we're not eating locally, which means some of the foods that we're eating weren't able to come to full ripeness on the vine. And I'll give you an example of that. And this is something that I just find interesting to talk about. You know, if you've ever grown a homegrown tomato, you know that from the time it's actually ripe on your vine until you can eat it, you'll only have a few days. But when they commercially grow tomatoes, they actually pick them when they're green and they spray them with ethylene gas so that they turn red, so they look nice and red and ripe on the grocery store shelf, so that you can pick them up, put them in your cart, take them home, and then let them sit on your counter or in your refrigerator for a couple of days before they go bad. We need that ability to have the transport time, the grocery store time, and the storage time in your office. So as a result of that, they're actually picked before they're ripe, and then they're mechanically ripened to get that red color. This is why when you eat a tomato that's grown at home in somebody's garden, it has a totally different flavor profile, totally different texture profile, and a totally different nutrient profile than what you get from a commercial tomato. But nevertheless, that's just a fun little fact about tomatoes and how they're grown in our country. We do want to make sure that we are supporting gaps in our diet by turning to specific supplementation, which we're going to talk about today. So what is cholesterol and why does that matter to you? Cholesterol is a soft, fat-like waxy substance that's found in the bloodstream and in all of your body's cells. It's an important part of the healthy body. It's used for producing cell membranes and hormones. cholesterol is not all bad. We need it. We actually make it ourselves as well. The liver makes its own cholesterol, which accounts for about 70% of the body's total cholesterol. Only about 30% of the cholesterol that's in your body comes from food, but it's important that we focus on making sure we're eating the right kinds of food and not eating the wrong kinds of food to make sure that we have healthy cholesterol levels. So when we get a cholesterol test done by our doctor, and let's talk about that, that's part of a very normal panel that your doctor probably runs every year when you go in for your wellness check. It's not just about identifying disease, but it's also about measuring your wellness, right? One of the things they want to look at is, do you have enough good cholesterol and do you have a low enough bad cholesterol? And we'll talk about the difference between good and bad cholesterol. See, cholesterol can't dissolve in the blood. It must be transported to and from the cells by carrier proteins that are called lipoproteins. And we have low density lipoproteins, that's the bad cholesterol. And we have high density lipoproteins, which is the good cholesterol. So let's talk about, why is LDL considered bad? Well, LDL cholesterol, when it's elevated, that's because of poor, insufficient, or poorly functioning transport mechanisms, which increases the probability of that waxy substance increasing within the walls of the arteries. And this can cause some blockages, which is why if we go back a couple of slides, 2 or 3 pictures ago, there was that picture of the artery, and the narrowing of the arteries was caused by the buildup of the LDL. Along with other substances, cholesterol can form plaque. That's that buildup there, which is a thick, hard deposit that can clog arteries and reduce oxygen and nutrient supplies from being delivered to the tissues. If a clot forms, it can block that narrowed artery, and it can cause some significant challenges. Of course, this is something we want to avoid, and this is why we want to focus on having a healthy lifestyle that helps to minimize the amount of bad cholesterol, or LDL, that we have. On the flip side of that, HDL, the high density lipoproteins, about 1/3 to 1/4 of the blood cholesterol is carried by these HDL lipoproteins. And HDL is known as the good cholesterol because a high level of it appears to protect against heart problems. HDL tends to carry cholesterol away from the arteries and back to the liver, where it can get excreted by the body. HDL may also remove excess cholesterol from plaque in arteries, slowing the buildup so that there's not that narrowing that increases cardiovascular challenges. Then there's also something that will probably show up on your wellness profile lab work that's called triglycerides. Triglycerides are a form of fat made in the body from both sugar and alcohol consumption, but they can also be found in food. So we do consume triglycerides in the foods that we eat, but again, we make them ourselves as well. People who have high triglyceride levels often have overall high cholesterol, which is high LDL, and low LDL, right? So, which is high LDL and low HDL. That's a typo there. It should be low HDL. So what is homocysteine? That's another marker that you might find in your wellness labs. And homocysteine is a lab test that's commonly added to assess healthy aging. Homocysteine, instead of being a fat, is an amino acid that, when poorly metabolized, may be associated with poor cardiometabolic fitness. Maintaining healthy homocysteine levels is as important as avoiding smoking or excess sugar as part of a healthy lifestyle. Individuals that don't consume enough B vitamin-rich foods may want to pay attention to their homocysteine levels. Again, you want to make sure that when you get your blood panels back, if you're looking for your wellness level, you want to have a good number of high density lipoproteins. You want to have appropriate HDL, you want to have low LDL, and you want to have low homocysteine levels. And this is all stuff that we can support with our lifestyle. It's not about waiting until we have a challenge, but it's about supporting the body through optimum nutrition and optimum lifestyle to make sure that we can function the way that we're meant to function. So let's talk about one particular product line that can help you with that. We have a complete system that was created in a very convenient to use form that has 3 different products. It's the Heart Health Omega-3 Fish Oil with Vitamin E. It's the Heart Health Advanced LIPITRIM Ultra. It's the Heart Health Triactive. They come in these convenient daily packets, 3 different products in one that are designed to promote overall cardiovascular health. Why did we put 3 products together in one? Well, nothing in nature acts in exclusion. Therefore, this complete system offers a blend of formulas containing botanical and nutrient factors that are paramount to the support of a healthy cardiovascular system. Let's talk about each one of these products individually. You heard me mention earlier that one of the ways that we can help address modifiable risk factors is to make sure we're eating healthy fats. We do tend to get a lot of fat in our diet, but most of the foods that we eat are high in omega-6s and they're high in omega-9s. And unless we're eating a lot of clean fatty fish, we tend to not get enough of the omega-3s. So Heart Health Essential Omega-3 Fish Oil with vitamin E provides a total of 3 grams of EPA and DHA per serving. Why 3 grams? Well, study revealed that 3 grams is the most effective amount to promote overall cardiovascular health. The American Heart Association recognizes fish oil supplements as a safe, effective alternative to eating fish, or for people who don't like it or can't consume enough fish to reach those optimal levels of EPA and DHA. So let me just ask you, how often a week do you eat fish? Are you eating fish multiple times per week? And is the fish that you're eating, are you sure that it is full of good, healthy fats and not full of contaminants like mercury or some of the other things that are sometimes a concern with fish? Sometimes we're told you don't want to eat too much fish because you can have some mercury contamination. So being able to take your fish oil in a form that has been standardized to make sure that it has the appropriate ratio of EPA and DHA without those contaminants is a smart, healthy lifestyle mechanism to take. So when you go out and you look for a healthy fish oil supplement, there's a lot of fish oil products on the market, and they're not all apples to apples comparisons. If you were to go into a health food store and you look at 30 different brands of fish oils or 30 different formulations of fish oils there, and you pick them up, you'll see everything from fish oils that have anywhere from 200 milligrams of EPA and DHA to 5,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, how do I make sure that I'm getting enough? And also you want to look at, how do I make sure that there's not a lot of junk in there? So competitor blends on the market usually have less than half of the EPA DHA concentration that's found in our Heart Health Essential Omega-3 fish oils. They also tend to use larger warm water fish, and larger warm water fish are more likely to accumulate toxins. The fish oil, the fish that's used in the Heart Health Essential Omega-3 fish oil comes from cold water fish, sardines and anchovies harvested off of the coast of Peru. So our anchovies and sardines have a very short life cycle, which means they make a great source of fish oil because they're less prone to accumulating toxins from the environment that they're swimming in than many large fish are. Every batch of fish oil that comes to our supplier is hand selected and tested for over 200 different quality checks during the production process. So we're really looking at making sure that it's a high quality fish oil with no contaminants added, and that it's in that appropriate ratio of EPA to DHA to support cardiovascular health. So what are some of the benefits of taking the Heart Health Essential Omega-3 with vitamin E? And the reason why the vitamin E is in there, I want to point this out too, because a lot of the products on the market don't have vitamin E in there. But the vitamin E helps to preserve the fish oil so it doesn't go rancid. In fact, if you take a fish oil that's gone rancid, it's probably worse for your health than taking a fish oil, than not taking a fish oil at all, because those fats have oxidized, and we want to try to avoid consuming oxidized oils. So what does the omega-3 offer to you in terms of benefits? It helps to maintain normal cholesterol levels. It helps to maintain healthy blood pressure levels, helps to maintain normal blood flow, normal triglyceride levels in the blood, helps to maintain healthy levels of C-reactive protein. C-reactive protein is just a marker of inflammation, and that's one of those things that we want to be able to also keep low in our blood work through our lifestyle. It contains 3,000 milligrams of fish oil, nearly 3 times more fish oil than most of the other products on the market, and we make sure to have that appropriate ratio of EPA and DHA in a safe and clean product. Now, there are some additional benefits to fish oil beyond cardiovascular health, and one of them has to do with healthy aging. It supports the relief from temporary inflammation associated with the aging process and daily activity. As we bend and lift and twist all day, we tend to create some inflammation, and the omega-3 fish oils can help with that. Promotes a healthy lubrication of the eye, normal tear production and volume, promotes healthy blood flow to the eye, helps to retain low light visual acuity. So lots of different vision health benefits as well, supports joint health, promotes a healthy complexion, helps to enhance mood, and I could go on and on and on. So it's a great thing to do when you can take a product that you're taking for one system and find out that the benefits carry over into other systems as well. So if you might be taking it to support your cardiovascular health, but why not benefit from the visual and the mental health benefits as well? So let's go into the second product that's included in the Heart Health Kit. It's called Heart Health Advanced LIPITRIM Ultra. And the active ingredient in here is called caprose. It's 500 milligrams of caprose, which comes from Indian gooseberry. It's an ingredient that's been used in Ayurvedic health for centuries. Caprose possesses adaptogenic properties, which help the body to resist stressors and promote balance. So one of the things I was talking about very early on is we have this emotional center in our body. Yes, we think about it in terms of mental health, but when we talk about it, we talk about how something might hurt our heart. Right? Why is that? Because we know that there is a connection between our mental, emotional health and our heart rate and the health of our heart. So we want to make sure that we can deal with stress appropriately. And caprose is a great adaptogen that helps us deal with daily stressors. It also provides the benefits of 250 milligrams of prickly pear, which helps to maintain normal cholesterol and blood glucose levels. So building upon the omega-3 fish oils, another product that can help with cholesterol levels and blood glucose support. It also contains a 50% hesperidin from bitter orange extract, which is considered one of the best polymethyloxylated flavones for cardiovascular well-being, a healthy circulatory system, and the protection of blood vessels. So we don't just want to support the heart. When we want full cardiovascular protection, we also need to look at our arteries and our veins and in our entire circulatory system. Some benefits of the Advanced LIPITRIM Ultra: antioxidant support, promotes a normal rate of cholesterol production, helps to maintain normal levels of total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and triglycerides, supports normal synthesis of triglycerides in the liver, and helps to maintain normal blood glucose levels. The third ingredient in the Heart Health Kit is the Heart Health Triactive Homocysteine Support Formula. And Triactive targets three main areas. It focuses on the arteries, it focuses on cholesterol and homocysteine levels, and it focuses on an overall healthy cardiovascular system. The unique formula provides a combination of natural ingredients that have been shown to safely and effectively support optimal arterial function, as well as normal cholesterol and homocysteine levels. Again, building upon both the omega-3 fish oils and the LIPITRIM, the Triactive provides additional ingredients like B vitamins that promote the healthy formulation of red blood cells. B vitamins also help to maintain normal homocysteine levels, which promotes overall cardiovascular and arterial health. Beta-sitosterol helps maintain normal levels of cholesterol. Hawthorn berry helps to maintain a strong heart muscle. There's ingredients in there that help to maintain normal cholesterol levels, support overall heart health, promote a normal rate of cholesterol production, and provide antioxidant protection against that bad cholesterol, right? So very powerful system. The cardiovascular support provided by the heart health system is a multi-system approach that should be included in a healthy lifestyle system. The supplementation is not meant to be taken in place of a healthy lifestyle. It's not go out and eat whatever you want and don't exercise and don't get enough sleep and don't deal with your stress and supplements will cover it. It should be a component of an overall healthy lifestyle approach. Not all formulas are created equal. Do not just judge a book by its cover. Do not just go out and buy products based on the pretty packaging and the price. You want to make sure that you have the ingredients in there that have been clinically shown to be able to promote healthy heart support. You want to make sure that you're getting those nutrients in the appropriate ratios with the appropriate dosing or milligram requirements as well that the studies supported. It's a combination of products that can be supported by other products as well. So let's talk about some other products that can support the heart health system. We've already talked about LIPITRIM, omega-3, and Triactive, which are included in the heart health system, but now we're going to talk about 3 additional products that can support overall cardiovascular health. Let's talk about COENZYME Q10. And we have 2 different versions of COENZYME Q10 in our product line. One is an isotonic product, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But within our heart health line, we have the advanced COENZYME Q10, which comes in a gel cap, and I'll talk about why. COENZYME Q10 concentrations naturally diminish as we age, and deficiency has been associated with very specific health concerns. The body's ability to synthesize normal amounts of COENZYME Q10 is inhibited by some medications. COENZYME Q10 is a fat-soluble coenzyme, which is a substance that's necessary to or supports the action of an enzyme. Coenzyme Q10 is a potent antioxidant that's known to scavenge oxygen radicals in the mitochondria during oxidative phosphorylation. Coenzyme Q10 is essential to the production of energy in every cell of our body. It's a component of the electron transport mechanism or respiratory chain that's required for the manufacture of ATP. ATP is super important for the energy of the cells. Coenzyme Q10 is known as ubiquinone, a substance that's found in a similar structure to a vitamin and found in the mitochondria. The mitochondria is like the energy center of all of our cells. If we don't have enough energy in our cells, our cells can't do what they were meant to do. We want to make sure that they have enough fuel to operate properly, and coenzyme Q10 can help with that. Where do we get coenzyme Q10 naturally in our diet? Because coenzyme Q10 is found in food sources, but oftentimes we find that people don't eat enough of these coenzyme Q10 rich foods. Rich sources include red meats, but in particular organ meats such as heart and liver. So just want to ask, how often are you eating heart meat? How often are you eating liver? Odds are it's probably not often enough. Other sources include poultry, fish, soybeans, canola oils, and nuts. And when you fry food, which a lot of the soybean oil and canola oils, they're served fried. And so when you fry them, you lose about 25% of the coenzyme Q10. And the oils can also oxidize. So it's not the best source of a coenzyme Q10 intake. Boiling foods does not change the coenzyme Q10 content, but when you look through magazines, when you look through recipe books, how often are the recipes that you're following based on boiling? Not so much, unless you're using sous vide cooking, which most of you maybe not even are doing, or maybe not even know what that is. Most people are grilling, which can oxidize those fats, or most people are baking or cooking, which does damage the coenzyme Q10. So let's look at some of those sources: beef, peanuts, egg, fish, cauliflower, and strawberries. Are you eating enough of those in your diet? The average intake is less than 10 milligrams per day for the average American of coenzyme Q10, and we do need significantly greater than that. So let's talk about why it's important to supplement with a quality CoQ10 product like the Heart Health Advanced CoQ10. It has the CoQ-Sol in it, which provides 100 milligrams of CoQ10, which is completely soluble. It's 100% crystal-free formulation, clinically proven to provide superior bioavailability. Now, this advanced CoQ10 in the gel cap also comes with a solvent inside the gel cap called D-limonene. It is a nonpolar organic solvent that helps stabilize and make it bioavailable, the coenzyme Q10. So it gives you the best bioavailability by taking it in combination with that D-limonene. And then it has the tocopherols, which tocopherols are a natural form of vitamin E that enhance the biological function of coenzyme Q10 and then help in turn maintain the antioxidant state of vitamin E. So we have more antioxidants, we have a very highly bioavailable form of coenzyme Q10 in an easy to take gel cap. What are some of the benefits of coenzyme Q10? Helps to maintain heart muscle strength, helps to maintain normal blood pressure, helps to maintain healthy cholesterol levels, provides antioxidant protection for the entire cardiovascular system, enhances traditional support of cardiovascular health, and helps to maintain healthy blood glucose or blood sugar levels. Additional benefits, just like omega-3 fish oils, coenzyme Q10 has benefits beyond heart health. Coenzyme Q10 resides in the membranes of the cell's mitochondria. Every cell in the body needs it, promotes and boosts immune system, promotes gum health, head comfort. Studies have been found that coenzyme Q10 deficiencies are typical in overweight people, supports and helps to maintain brain health, and is vital for ATP energy production and muscle endurance. Now let's talk about another supporting product to go along. So far we've covered the 3 products in the Heart Health Kit. We've covered coenzyme Q10. And now let's talk about the Isotonics Vitamin D3 with K2. Now, I just want to talk to you about this also because we started off by talking about when you go to your doctor for your wellness checks, they're probably going to do some routine labs. Another routine lab that they often check for is vitamin D levels. Vitamin D levels that are sufficient are indicated in healthy aging. But many people have suboptimal vitamin D levels, and it's really important to pay attention to. So the next time you go into your doctor, you want to make sure that as part of your wellness check, they're looking at your vitamin D levels. What is vitamin D? Well, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that is found in, it's actually a prohormone, but it's found in some foods and produced when sunlight strikes the skin and activates vitamin D synthesis. Here's the problem with that. We often use sunscreen or sun protective clothing when we are out in the sun. And if you live in an area that doesn't get enough sunlight, even though your body can make its own sunlight, you may not be making enough of your own because you're not in the sun enough, you don't get enough sun exposure, or the sun exposure that you have is filtered by sun protective clothing or sunscreens. Vitamin D promotes the efficient intestinal absorption of calcium, and calcium is super important for cardiovascular health as well. Isotonic's vitamin D with K2 contains vitamin D3, the metabolically active form of vitamin D, along with vitamin K2, which we'll talk about why that's important in a second, which supports vascular health and calcium utilization. Vitamin D plays an important role in bone health and in heart health and immune support, while working with vitamin K to support normal absorption of calcium and promote healthy arteries. Why K2? Well, vitamin K is included in the vitamin D in the form of K2 because of this unique partnership that vitamin D and vitamin K have together. Vitamin K and D work together to support calcium absorption and utilization. Vitamin K supports the normal delivery of calcium to the bones and promotes healthy arteries. There are at least two naturally occurring forms of vitamin K. They're called vitamin K1 and vitamin K2. The difference between them is their chemical structure, which results in them being utilized by the body differently. Vitamin K1 is primarily processed through the liver and retained in the liver, where at high doses may interfere with specific medications like anticoagulants. Vitamin K2 has a different mechanism of action and is transported primarily to the bones and the blood vessels without that same level of liver support needs that might be provided. And so oftentimes you'll hear people taking certain medications being told to avoid certain foods that are high in vitamin K, and that is because of the way that it's processed through the liver. With K2, those patients may not have those same concerns. Now, again, just like we talked about with coenzyme Q10, there are food sources of vitamin D. But these are probably things that you're not eating frequently enough in your diet. Salmon has 360 IU of vitamin D. Mackerel has 340 IU. Sardines have 250 IU. Tuna has 200 IU. And fortified milk has about 90 IU of vitamin D. But when was the last time that you ate sardines and mackerel and salmon? And even if you do eat them regularly, you still may not be meeting enough to have optimal vitamin D levels. That leads to vitamin D insufficiency. Vitamin D deficiencies can be caused by several factors, including low exposure to sunlight, reduced skin synthesis of vitamin D, that would be maybe because of the sun protective clothing or the sunscreen, lower dietary intake, impaired intestinal absorption of reduced metabolism to the active forms of vitamin D by the kidneys. All of these systems change as we age as well. So deficiencies have been linked to numerous health concerns, and insufficient levels of vitamin are associated with weak bones, muscle weakness, and immune challenges. Now, I will tell you that I've worked in a cardiology office for years in Miami Beach, and you would think of any place in the world, Miami Beach is one of the most sunny locations we have, at least in the United States. It's a very sunny city. They get many, many, many days of sunshine per day. And in the practice where I work, we tested all the patients' vitamin D levels, and about 90 to 95% of the patients still had suboptimal vitamin D levels, despite living in one of the sunniest places in the country. Those patients who did have optimal vitamin D levels were all supplement users and also consumed regular quantities of fish containing the vitamin D that I talked about earlier. Now, what are some of the benefits of taking Isotonic's vitamin D3 with K2? It helps maintain cholesterol health, helps promote elasticity of the blood vessels, helps maintain normal blood pressure, promotes healthy arteries, supports immune health, promotes normal bone mineral density, maintains bone health, helps maintain bone mass by supporting normal osteoclast activity, and women with low bone density have been found to be deficient in vitamin K. So being able to provide the vitamin D with the additional K2 is very beneficial for them. And then we're going to talk about the next product. I just love this little slide. It talks about the little mice drinking the red wine. Red wine makes them live longer, but they get to be a real pain. And they start critiquing the red wine. I can't believe you're drinking Merlot. I just think that's cute. So why are we talking about mice and red wine? Well, we're going to talk about a nutrient called resveratrol. And what is resveratrol? It's an ingredient with incredible clinical research revealing it supports cardiovascular and normal cell health. Resveratrol is naturally produced by plants as a defense mechanism against oxidative stress. Only red wines contain considerable amounts of this compound. So that's why the little mice in the lab were drinking the red wine. It's a metabolized end product from their skins that create these benefits. So when you consume a lot of the resveratrol compounds, which again are found in red wines, it can circulate in the blood for about 9 hours. So it provides a lot of great antioxidant support. The studies on resveratrol speak often to cellular health and cardiovascular health and longevity. So poor cellular and cardiovascular health is becoming a worldwide epidemic. An unhealthy diet of processed, high-calorie, high-fat foods, pollution, smoking, sedentary lifestyles all contribute to both poor cell and heart health. Scientists have called something the French paradox, which states that even though the French drink, smoke, and eat high-fat foods, they have some of the lowest incidence of poor cardiovascular and cellular health. Why is that? Because they do consume a lot of resveratrol through the amount of red wine that they drink. And scientists attribute to the red wine and the resveratrol. But there are some downsides to drinking it in the form of red wine, and that would be the alcohol consumption that goes along with that. And there are some negative health impacts to consuming alcohol. So what is resveratrol? Studies of numerous species have shown that a reduction in calories has been linked to longer lifespan. The SIRT1 gene activates a critical component of calorie restriction in mammals and promotes fat metabolism. There's evidence that resveratrol can mimic this caloric restriction activity and help to also promote a healthy lifespan. By promoting healthy SIRT1 activity, resveratrol promotes healthy mitochondrial function and supports energy expenditure, thereby promoting a healthy weight. So the isotonics resveratrol provides the benefit of resveratrol, like drinking lots of red wine, without the alcohol component of it. It's made from 3 patented ingredients: resveravine with 20% resveratrol extract, Biovin Advanced with 5% resveratrol extract, and Vita Blue, which is a wild bilberry extract, blueberry, designed to promote normal, healthy primary benefits. It promotes normal activity of the SIRT1 gene, which is involved in calorie restriction, fat mobilization, and mitochondrial function. It promotes cardiovascular health, normal platelet activity, helps maintain normal vasorelaxation, provides antioxidant protection of LDL particles. It also offers superior antioxidant and high ORAC value, maintains cell health, promotes normal cell cycle activity, promotes apoptosis, which is programmed cell death in unhealthy cells, and promotes just so many great benefits for us for longevity components. It's all about healthy aging as well. So when we talk about how can we create a healthy cardiovascular system, I want to remind you it goes back to lifestyle. Supplements are not going to replace or counteract poor lifestyle choices, but they can fill in the gaps. And the products we talked about today for comprehensive cardiovascular support include the Heart Health Kit, which is 3 products in 1, the Advanced LIPITRIM, the omega-3s, the Triactive under the Heart Health label. We also talked about COENZYME Q10, isotonics vitamin D3 with K2, and the resveratrol product. But there are some additional products that you may want to consider. Recently, we launched an isotonics astaxanthin formula that offers significant cardiovascular health support mechanisms. We also have thiaminol, we have trim tea, and we have the Daily Essentials packets. The Daily Essentials packets are a great overall health promoting product. They provide a multivitamin, a calcium, an activated B complex, and an antioxidant with pycnogenol in it called OPC3. So if you have questions about these products, you're going to want to explore these products as well. But today I really wanted to focus on our Heart Health Kit, a few supporting products, and then other products that you may want to consider if you have additional support needs. And to summarize, let's talk about how you can take action. If you are a smoker or you're exposed to secondhand smoke, you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. You want to make sure that you exercise regularly. You eat a diet rich in colorful fruits and vegetables that are high in fiber. You reduce your intake of salt and sugar. You eat healthy fats and avoid fried foods. And you utilize scientifically based supplements and botanicals to support your cardiovascular health. Again, every single one of us has a heart that we need to pay attention to, but beyond our own heart health, we should also be paying attention to the hearts of our loved ones as well. If you find this information helpful, I hope you share it with your friends and family. And I thank you for taking the time to join me today on this heart health presentation. Have a great day.